Right, welcome everyone, thanks for having us on, and you know who I am, so let's get moving. Right, so our whole goal is to democratize share ownership. I've been in stockbroking for 17 years, and that promise of democratizing share ownership has been real or tangible since 2000. And so certainly, maybe not in South Africa because of the demographics and the access to the internet was poor, but certainly globally. But we haven't achieved, in fact, we've achieved nothing. This is the South African number of South Africans that own shares directly on the JSE. And when we say we want to democratize share ownership, why? Because it is the fundamental building block in a wealth portfolio. And so we have to start there. We have to start with the biggest component and the most fundamental component. 53 million South Africans, and as of 2000, at the end of 2013, when we conceptualized this business, there were only 280,000 registered stockbroking accounts. That's pathetic. That's less than 0.5% of our country's population, and it underperforms any global peer on any basis, regardless of their demographic position. So whether you look at Asia, where you've got numbers up to 90%, or Europe, where the numbers go between 20 and 40%, Australia 44%, South Africa 0.5%, it's not good. What did we do to need to change it? First thing that we did, we set some rules around the business. We needed to address affordability and not cost. And in terms of addressing affordability, we needed to abandon minimums. The old world of stockbroking has minimum trade costs of around 80 Rand. So if you're a 100 Rand investor, which is the person that we're appealing to, 80 Rand is consumed by the value chain. Who would do that? Minimum investment values of around 5,000 Rand and monthly platform fees of 50 and data fees of 75 Rand per month. It's just minimum, minimum, minimum. And if you think about the 100 Rand investor, there's no entry point or access point for him. So we abandoned minimums as a strategy. No minimums, just 65 cents per 100 Rand invested. No minimum investment amounts, no monthly platform fees, and no data fees. The other point that we had to address in terms of affordability is that share prices themselves exclude people from owning the shares that they love and that perform. Think about it. Naspers, Capitec, PSG, any of the shares that have performed particularly well become unaffordable to the masses. How did we address it? We created fractional share rights, which we've patented and copyrighted. We built it into our transactional processes. So now South Africans can own 1/10,000th of a share, which solved many problems for us. The first problem was obviously access and affordability. The second problem was portfolio diversification and mirroring. And specifically when we get into the wealth management space and being able to create portfolios, 100 Rand portfolios that mimic the portfolios of million Rand investors, this was a key component that we needed to address. It's tangibly executable in a product that we call baskets, because not everyone knows what to buy. So we created a platform that's really easy to engage and engages the consumer and allows them to buy their shares. But what happens if I don't know what to buy? We learned a little from Amazon. We do their stuff. Clients who bought these shares also buy those. So we get the consumer to focus on his first purchase engagement. What's the one share that you want to own? And from that, we start a journey that leads you to 15, 16 stocks. You'll be surprised how good those portfolios are, and you'll be surprised how much information is in that first choice. And I can tell you now that if I showed these portfolios to the asset managers in the room, they'd be embarrassed and they'd be overwhelmed by what these retail clients are doing for themselves. The other product that we've got is baskets and bundles. Baskets and bundles won an innovation award yesterday at Accenture, so we're quite proud about that. But what is it? Specifically, it is a risk-measured portfolio. That's what the number is. And we've integrated another fintech leader out of the US called Riskalyze. And we risk assess the portfolios. We give them a risk number. We contrast that risk number to the client's risk number, and then we match those two things. And so based on your risk number, these are the portfolios of shares or baskets or bundles of shares that you should buy. As opposed to buying a single share, the transaction point, you still put your 100 Rand in, it then allocates those transactions according to the weightings of the asset manager into your portfolio. And you get transparent, direct access to the underlying holdings. We like transparency. Why? Because it increases engagement, and engagement increases positive user behavior. The asset management industry doesn't like transparency because it doesn't want engagement, because when they don't do well, they don't want you to take your money out. And so these are uncomfortable things for the industry to address, but we're getting asset managers. People said that we wouldn't get asset managers to join us. We're less than 2 years old, and the first asset managers that aren't owned by us, this one on the screen is ours, are launching next month. And so the move is happening naturally. It doesn't stop there. We're just getting started. We've got products that are coming to market fairly soon. The ones that we've already talked about, so accessing shares and baskets and bundles, are up, but we're putting wrappers around it so that we can have tax-effective structures. We've already got South Africa's best tax-free savings account. We're putting RAs and umbrella structures, so pension funds and life products. We've put recurring investments into 2 months ago. Recurring investment is just a fancy name for a debit order. Take 100 Rand, allocate it to whatever investments you like. 10 shares, 5 shares, a basket of shares. Set it to go off monthly, quarterly, or annually, and the system looks after it on your own. If you at any point, 3 days to the execution of that debit order, you can modify, amend, increase, remove. We're partnering with corporates. Our strategy is 50% to grow it alone, use our marketing money and muscle, and our marketing currency is customers. They are 44% of our business comes as a result of referral business. The other part of our strategy is with partners. SatrixNow is a great example of that. We partnered with them to create an extraordinary ETF platform that takes all the benefits of what we do and applies it to all the benefits that they do. For me, that's how FinTech, our FinTech gets exponential growth, through partnering good platforms and ideas and delivering better products and services in the result. Other things that are worth noting, is it winning? Are we making an impact? So remember the number, 280,000. We've opened 40,000 accounts in under 2 years. 22,000 of them have gone on to fund and invest. 9,782 are engaged investors, which means that they've gone on to make at least 10 investments and 3 deposits. We've done 8.3 million. We've had 8.3 million logins. The engagement level of people accessing their portfolios is off the charts. On average, the customers log in every 3 days. That's extraordinary for a financial services company. We modeled the business on the basis that they would come weekly. They're coming daily. 702,000 transactions, 902 million Rand invested in the platform or on the platform. We've saved our consumers, our clients, 42 million Rand in under 2 years. That's around 5% of their portfolio value. Compound that over 30 years, and if you can do the numbers in your head, you're a genius. 0 to 92 are our client ages. We're cheating with 0. Obviously, parents are taking advantage of the structure and investing for their kids, which is very lacquer. We're most proud about the fact that the median age is 32, and so we're addressing the millennial opportunity, which is the one I think everyone's trying to solve. 70% male, 30% female. We're working really hard at increasing those numbers to 50-50. 4,585 clients under the age of 21 investing an average of 12,000 Rand. That's where the real wealth creation will happen. Unfortunately, I probably won't be around to see it, but the stories of 12-year-old kids running their own portfolios on their own, making decisions for themselves, will make your eyes water. Our best marketing is you, our customers, 44% of our business.
Hi, thank you. What can you do to get your account usage and engagement numbers up on the accounts that are opened?
We listened to our customers. So the first thing we did is we ran a game before we launched the platform. 1,500, we had 2,000 game players. We lured them in with lots of prizes, but we did it so that we could find out whether the platform was easy enough, because it would be a bit stupid launching a platform that's difficult and calling it easy. So we did a lot of user experience around the game. Out of that process, we got 1,500 requests for areas that were presenting barriers to the customers. So we took those requests, prioritized them, and then deployed them into the first launch. And then everything we do is about listening to our customers. We don't, in our history running stockbrokers, we built services that we thought our client audience wanted. We prioritize the work we do based on the weight of customers that ask for it, not the weight of money that the customer has. And so you have to, if you want something done on the platform, there needs to be hundreds of you asking for it, not one of you who's got a lot of money. So lots of surveys and tools, lots of email and research. We do seminars, webinars. We get physical all around the country. So yeah, client engagement.
Hi, Charles. Just want to ask a question about customer acquisition cost, and also around innovation from a mobile perspective. How much of your traffic is mobile, and what are the plans for mobile apps?
Cool, man. So the customer acquisition cost, our target is 100 Rand, and I'm pleased to say that we're on target, 100 Rand. Vouchering is if you visit our stand or you find me, we give away these. And these are really proving effective in the retail audience. Give someone 100 Rand, and we've got a gifting solution on the site where you can give other people 100 Rand with your own money. So that becomes quite viral. We use it at birthdays, any events where you want to give someone a meaningful gift. So that's working really well. And it has to be 100 Rand. The return on that is the average value of the current customer is about 300 Rand a year. So we're happy to give away 100 Rand to acquire that customer. So that's the first question. The second question, mobile apps. The platform's HTML5, so it's ready. The problem is that we are developing and moving so fast. So we do about 2 releases a month in terms of functionality. And the problem for me in the app space is that it's actually not agile enough to keep up with our development requirements. So HTML5 first. We see an opportunity where 12 months out, that agility in terms of developing that fast will slow down, but who knows, stuff's moving so fast. And we are setting about a parallel process to deploy app versions that don't bring all the functionality to market at once and focus on the functionality that's going to deliver the biggest impact to the retail market. So there's lots of stuff on the transaction platform that isn't relevant for an app. Most people want to access the app to find out what's going on, what's happening in the market, and as a result of that, make a trade or buy or sell. They don't need all the other stuff that's wrapped into the platform. So really trying to find out what the best sort of minimum viable product is to take on the app platform, develop that, deploy it, and then focus on being agile online until such time as that slows down.
Hi, Charles. It was a great presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. My question is, how do you balance listening to what customers want when often with stocks, customers want to take inappropriate risk to their circumstances, and how do you manage what's best for the client versus what they actually want to be doing?
Yeah, those are such old world assumptions. They're the same ones that we made. So we built the platform. We said we've got to tell them what to do and how to do it. And that's what we've always done. And that's what financial services have always done too. But we didn't do it, and we didn't do it because we didn't take a conscious decision. We just said, look, if we don't make this platform easy to transact, we won't achieve anything. So don't worry about what they do yet. Let's just see if we can get people on the platform. What we've discovered is that people are much smarter than we give them credit for. They create meaningful portfolios very quickly, and they engage and educate themselves much more rapidly than we would have expected. That doesn't mean everyone doesn't make mistakes. But on the whole, so we benchmarked the portfolio. It's been tough 2 years, right? Financial markets, pretty tough. The portfolios on the whole beat the index, beat the ALSI. So as a community, they're behaving much better. And 99.9% of my customers are buying shares for the first time. On average, they're holding 15 stocks. So and those 15 stocks are not they're across all sectors. So the diversification, the maturity, and the portfolios that they're creating are blowing us away. They don't really need us. What they need us for is the first transaction, because the confidence to buy your first share is a barrier to entry. The biggest barrier is FICA. That's a problem we've all got to live with. But the second biggest barrier is then, let me just buy my first share. Once you get somebody beyond buying their first share, then the magic happens. And there's a lot in that. I'm simplifying it, but our communication strategy, we use YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We are aggressively long word, but we surround our people with information and access that is completely different to anything that's been seen in the stockbroking world. So you've got to sort of taste it. It's very hard in 7 minutes to show you that kind of stuff.